Hi Mark, I'm Tim, number 6.
Hello, Mark. I'm Helena. I'm number 12. Sorry, I'm number 12.
Hi Mark, I'm Terry. I'm number 54.
Hello, Mark. I'm Betty, number 34.
So this week we have watched a movie called Extreme Love, Autism.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think maybe we can talk about something about this movie. Yeah. So let's think. What can we think about?
Okay, first I have a question is that if you are the teacher in the future, are you willing to teach autistic?
Wow, good question.
For me, because I don't really want to be a teacher when I graduate, so I think it won't be a problem for me. But if I really became a teacher, I think I don't have the ability to teach such kids. Yeah.
Wow.
Any answers? Other answers?
For me, before I share my answer, I think. What about Helena? You say you're not so willing to be a teacher in the future. So I wonder if if you work in a company, and if your colleagues or some of your colleagues are autistic, so how can you deal with that?
I don't know how because I haven't met that situation, but if they're my colleague, I'm because they're colleagues, you know. So
Yeah.
that means you can choose your colleagues, so you are willing to accept that. But if you are a teacher, the relationship between the two of you is different than between colleagues. You know, you are teachers and students, but they are you have a high how to say that you will be able to teach them. But if your colleagues, you are in the same status.
Position?
Yeah, same position. The relationship between this is different because you have to cope with your colleagues, but you are teaching your students.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. And this question, for me, I want to be a teacher definitely, and I think if in the future maybe one of or some of the students in my class is a student with ASD, and I think I'm willing to teach them, because first, I'm a minor in special education, and so in the future, it's likely that I would teach students with special needs. I mean, special students in special education, and my reason is that I think students with ASD maybe have some strength. This is maybe their weakness, and they also have other strengths. So a teacher must find out their potential instead of just looking at their disability, disorder, that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's what I think. And what about him?
For me, being a teacher is a plan B in my life, but I still make an effort to be a teacher. But to be honest, I don't think I'm willing to be a teacher of autistic students because I think I'm not patient enough to teach them. I'm afraid I will lose control.
Oh,
That's terrible.
so you mean in the movie, we have witnessed some children with ASD, and if you face these instances of the children in the movie with ASD, you will lose control.
Maybe I'm
Wow.
just afraid of that. But if I have to teach them, I still maybe try to do my best. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really something we need to think about if we want to be a teacher in the future. So I think maybe we can think about if we become a teacher in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, under the circumstance that we teach students with ASD, what kind of problem we will face and what kind of solution we can think of. Helena?
Problems I think are the ones the ones we see in the movie. Like every student have different problems of their own, and some of them live in their own world. So for this kind of children, then the problem is that how to help them make connection with the outside world. But some of them is they can control their temper or they can control themselves. So we have to think about other solutions. So I think there are many solutions. So what kind of which certain problem or specific problem are you talking about?
Maybe like what kind of problem you can think of, the specific one.
For which one? The ones are more silent or outgoing. The ones are more outgoing.
Maybe you can talk about them respectively.
Like I said, I just said, I think for the ones they live in their own world. Teachers have to have more patience to lead them to do something, to live their life or do the same thing with normal kids, to lead them out to not just focus on themselves because in the real world you cannot focus only on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for the other kinds, I don't know. Yeah.
Wow.
But you do have any thoughts or solutions? Yeah.
I want to talk about the first question is that am I willing to teach them? And is that I may not be a teacher in the future and I'm not very willing to teach them because I'm afraid there will be lots of problems and I may not control them. But if I am asked to do so, I will try my best. And if I will be a teacher, the problem I may encounter is that it's hard to connect with them. And like what Helena says, sometimes we cannot control their temper and I have to afraid that they may hurt me or others. And the solution is that because there are many teachers, there may be many teachers, we can collaborate together and find a way to make the students calm down or yes.
You mean the emotional part?
Yes.
Yeah, make the children calm down. So maybe what Betty means is that if we are going to be a teacher in the future, and the most important part is that we need to have the group work with other teachers and collaborate with other teachers so that we can maybe share our ideas and use some strategy to offer the better teaching and learning environment for the kids and for ourselves. Then what about Tim?
I think, yeah, just like you say, we can learn some experience from the other teachers. Maybe they have the better strategies to lead those ASD students. It's a
Yeah.
good idea, and I think for me, how can I?
Or have you ever think about this question before? Because you mentioned that being a teacher is your plan B, and
Yes.
I wonder if you have thought about this, maybe we call problem, or this situation. I mean, teaching students with ASD or students in special education.
You mean how can I solve this problem?
Yeah.
It's a very
I think it's a really hard question.
Yeah.
it's a really hard question because I try to avoid it. That's maybe I can study some relevant subject to learn how to teach them.
Yeah, that's right. And I want to give the feedback and with something that I have learned in the Department of Special Education. Because in some courses I take in the Department of Special Education, they mention some strategies can be used in special schools, and the teacher also, because we haven't learned many strategies, so I want to share I'm going to share a statement by the teacher in that department. She said patience, maybe within in the education, teachers need patience, and she said that forget about it, because she said that if a teacher only has the patience, then he or she would not be a good teacher, because he or she need strategy to teach students.
Yeah.
Because if I don't have strategy, and I always, for example, I'm the teacher and Betty is the student. Hey Betty, this is an apple. Repeat after me. This is an apple. Hey, come on, repeat after me. Oh, come on.
So you mean that is?
I will be insane, and the student will be insane. Yeah. So maybe in the education, maybe we need patience and also need strategy, I think. And I think in many things we all need strategy. Yeah. And
That means even though you have the patience, but if you have no ability to teach them, it will be useless, right?
I think so.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
You need strategy, otherwise everyone in the schools would be insane.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
Then
let's move on.
okay. Does everyone have the experience with interact with these kind of students?
No.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I never met anyone, not even students. I never met anyone with autistic. Yeah, just, I never met anyone.
I have it's during the winter vacation during my freshman year, and I joined it's like a winter camp held by the Department of Special Education in our school, and in that camp we need to we need to interact with one student with ASD one by one, and it's that
one student.
it's that for example, there will be 15 students with ASD, and there will be also 15 volunteers
Yeah,
to
understand.
take care of them. And maybe like we have some classes, and we need to, be by their side all the time, and we can witness some really, at this spot I think, oh gosh, it's so weird. It's so weird, like the students that I took care of. It's like he would be in the class, and I'm not sure if he was listening to the teacher. He was like and I was like, should I tell him to focus on the teacher visually, and also listen to the words by the teacher, and suddenly he was like, he just looked down on the table, and somehow maybe like 10 seconds or 15 seconds he was like, and I was like, are you scared or are you frightened? I'm not sure, and it's hard for me to read what they have in their mind. Yeah, because the one I took care of, the boy didn't utter any word during that 6 days.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really hard, and I tried to take care of him, and I didn't get any reply, so I couldn't really know. Maybe like he wants something else, he needs something, or he wants to thank me. No, nothing at all. So yeah, sometimes it's depressing. Though in the end, and he uses something like something students or children with ASD use to help them to express themselves.
Yeah.
And he used like a machine and to write some words, to type some words and say thank you to me, and I was like, oh God, fall into tears. Yeah.
Oh, he really felt it.
Yeah, so that's also why I think education has the power. Yeah. So what about Betty?
I remember in my high school I had been to one education and nursing institute.
Ooh.
And I see many autistics, but I didn't really get along with them, and because I'm still a little afraid that they will do some weird things to me. And I remember what I see, they didn't do nothing very uncontrolled, and one I remember is that when I go there with my class, and I remember when we were eating lunch, there's one just come and see us, but she talks to herself, and we just don't know what to do. But later, then she walked back.
Oh.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird.
Yeah, kind of weird. Maybe sometimes we're afraid of something. And at that time, you mentioned that you're afraid of you don't know what they would do, and what comes into your mind. I wonder, like what do you think they would do?
What did you imagine about that? What kind of weird action did you imagine that they will do?
Oh yeah.
Maybe they would lost their temper, or touch me, or
Don't touch my shoulder.
like this.
Like sometimes we're afraid of it. Strangers would do something violent on us. Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes maybe our fears on somebody or our misunderstandings on somebody all result from the situation that we don't know each other. Yeah, I think that's
And sometimes you can lose a chance to really understand, really know who they are. Maybe you could lost the chance because you are afraid of them. Yeah.
Yeah. And also I think my experience and Betty's experience are quite a little bit different. And I think maybe the cases, the children with ASD, they are really different. They are not really so similar. And I think maybe we can see in the movie the different cases with different situation. Yeah. Yeah. And what else?
I have a question is that what is the most impressing in the documentary?
Impressive?
Yes.
It's an impressive scene.
Yeah.
I think for me it's the boy. What's his name? Nicky or
Yeah.
Nicholas? Okay, Nicky. The one who writes something.
He wrote a novel. He learned Japanese.
He learned Japanese. Watashi wa blah blah blah.
Other
And
languages.
I think I'm surprised because how to say? Sometimes we think that students with some disability, maybe we will focus on everything they can do, like people DHH, deafness and hard of hearing, can hear. Yeah. And maybe we will focus on I can talk to him or her because he or she can hear me. But that case reminds me of the fact that we can focus on what they can do instead of what they can't do. So maybe it's like students with ASD, they still have some potential. Yeah, like languages, or maybe students with ASD, maybe he or she is awesome in sports and can join, can attend Olympics, that stuff. So I think everyone, I think that's what comes into my mind. Everyone has potential. Everyone has his or her own value, and everyone is unique. Yeah, so I think that is really impressive. Then what about Tim and Helena?
For me, it's the one who don't live in his home. His mom sent him to live outside because his situation is too severe that he could hit or hurt his mom. Yeah, but I was shocked with what his mother said, but in the documentary they came to pick him up, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like what his mom said. It seems like he changed a lot than he used to be. So I'm really impressed by this. Yeah, I thought that this maybe can be this situation maybe can be controlled. Yeah. So it is very surprised to see how big the change is. Yeah. And how about Tim?
For me, one impressive thing is that the school for ASD students is an individual school for all that kind of students. I think it's very good. It's a very good idea because I got an experience to to teach in a cram school.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cram school built by a church.
Oh.
You know that you work with me.
Love neighbor.
Love neighbor. Yeah, love neighbor. The church name is Love Neighbor. Yeah. And in the class there is a LSD student. I guess the teacher she didn't tell me, but I guess he's a SD student. He can control himself, and he often try to fight with other students.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I have to stop him, but the problem is he's bigger than.
Bigger than you.
Yeah, he's bigger than me. It's very.
Afraid.
Yeah, it's very frightening. So I think it's a good idea to defy them,
Yeah.
to defeat them, to defeat the SD students and the normal students, because the normal students, some of them didn't realize what SD is. So they maybe think the SD students are just, they're just weird. They are so funny. Yeah, poke you. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, sometimes it's like that.
Yeah, they try to.
Though they know, maybe understand, but they are not willing to accept them, and then maybe
Yeah.
some situation like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Those students, some of them didn't respect the SD students. I'm worried about it.
Mm-hmm. So you suggest that students students with special needs and
Yeah.
also students without special needs should be separated.
Yes.
But I wonder if we can have another solution, is that maybe in a class, maybe general education classroom, the teachers can design some activity or have some
Games?
some games or activities to explicitly or implicitly to let the students know what special education is and what SD is, because I think they don't know. So students in general education don't know what SD is. Then they fear and they are frightened, and they think students with SD are kind of weird, and they don't want to talk to them or have any interaction with them. And I think it's kind of if you separate them, then that becomes a label. And like a label, and I'm afraid that these students, students with SD or students with special needs, will have the label, and I'm afraid that the situation will become the culture in India. It's that what your father do would become what you do in the future, that kind of stuff.
Why would it become that?
Because they have the label, so not everyone, most of the people within the they are special education students and blah 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 blah, and it's like they don't have the chance to interact with students in general education. And I wonder if there would be a gap between them. And also, what about in the future if students with in special education, they want to find a job and they can't adapt to the society?
But I think in the movie they built the school. They built the school for autistic students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just for the reason for they build it because they want to make all what you say to happen in that, like to make students connect with society or help them find a job. That's why they build them. So why do they separate them? Why is separating them a bad way? I know many ways have their good and bad points, but I think in this situation, building a school like this is better. Yeah.
Really?
Because putting them all together, you have to, how to say that, like in Taiwan, our education we have many students, but we only have one teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe this kind of education system isn't appropriate or isn't good for this kind of students.
I mean, maybe like one teacher and also like 25 students.
Yeah, because we saw in the movie they have one teacher for one student, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it's a better idea to let them go to that school, because in the school they mentioned that if they help them to deal with normal people's life, like how to buy things, how to cope with others.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so when they are ready for it, they can go and like explore the world, you know. So I think it's better to have that school.
Mm-hmm.
And besides, I think the school like that is really how to say it? It's really good or excellent, because how can you build a school like that? They only have that big. They are not very big, I think, but they can deal with all kinds of students, because if for autistic child, they have everyone is different. Nobody is the same. They don't. Nobody have the same
symptoms.
Yeah, symptom. Yeah, they don't. Nobody have the same symptoms. So, how do you teach such kind of kids that with different kinds of problems? Because in school we have one teacher dealing with many students, and usually normal students are kind of same. So in this, you think about that same places, same kind of size for school, but they can cope with different kinds of students. Don't think that is really really what.
So that's why you suggest that.
I think maybe normal students would have to go to a school like that, you know.
One by one.
Yeah, it's not maybe one by one, but having one teacher to having others to explore what you are good at. Not only just one teacher and view everybody by their scores or what. Yeah, I think this school is better than our school.
Yeah, you mean maybe
in the education system.
Yeah, a teacher can be in charge of less students.
Yeah, and
the
you can take care of many students. Take care of every student. Not just not because in a group maybe some students will be ignored, or maybe maybe not seen by the teacher. Yeah, because some are tend to not be more outgoing with others, or not very willing to express themselves.
It's like all students like this. And this is the extreme, this is the extreme, and what about the middle, the average, being ignored?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So, if we are in the school, we are in the school like autistic student, for autistic students, then no one will be forget by the teacher, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we can find everyone's potential, and not only the extreme ones will be seen, but also normal ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
I wonder, in our experience, and it's Betty's turn. Oh, I haven't heard of Betty's voice for a long time, so I wonder, Betty, I wonder if I wonder in your experience before, maybe like elementary school, junior high, or senior high, which one, which kind of educational system are you in? I mean, a teacher in charge of many students, or a teacher in charge of like 2 or 3 or 4 students?
You say which I prefer? Or
Maybe I can ask what you prefer, because many of us, we are put into the first one.
Oh yes, I preferred those who in charge of fewer students, because students can take more receive more care, and
Oh yeah.
different students have different problems, then teachers can solve them one by one maybe.
Oh, smaller classes. But maybe we will become more nervous. It's like, maybe I'm the teacher and my students, 1, 2, 3. What do you think about this, Lena? What do you think about this, Betty? and I would be really nervous about that.
Oh, but I think this can make us improve our skills.
Oh, yeah.
And
Because,
just like usually I didn't talk more. Maybe this can, maybe teacher will order that you answer a question and I must answer it.
Instead of like, some of our classes, 70 students in a class with one teacher.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the point.
But actually, I think that the teacher in charge with fewer students is more relaxing. In my opinion, that.
Relaxing?
Yeah, because you don't have to pay so much patience, attention to lots of students.
Yeah.
I think so.
And we can design some activity. If we have the group work and if like 100 students in the classroom, and maybe 5 members in group, there are 20 groups, so it's hard for a teacher to see if each group has the discussion. But if there is only 3 students, discuss, okay. So it's easier to see if the effectiveness and also the efficiency of the activity, in-class activity would work. Yeah.
Yes.
Then.
I haven't said my most impressive thing.
Oh yeah.
Is that in one scene the host Louis asks Nikki's mom that if you can take away Nikki's autism, would you do it? And his mom said no.
Yeah.
And I was very surprised, because there's still someone who really love their children and willing to accept the condition. Yes, it makes me.
You mean that Nikki's mom saw his potential and think that because of the autistic, so he could have all this potential, and all these potentials are good like that.
Yes, and his mom thinks that Nikki is so special, and with this kind of child, she can experience more different things than others. Is maybe
A good experience.
Yeah.
Maybe,
really precious.
Yeah, maybe God sent Nikki to her. Yeah. I think everything taking place in our life really has something something special on us, and we can learn something
from that. Just like we have the 40 minutes talking about autism right here. Yeah, and I think that's really helps because we can know more about autism.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think watching that movie in class is really helpful.
Though before watching it and Mark told us it's about autism or something, that I was like, what why we're going to watch this? Because on Wednesday I have 6 hours of the classes in special education, and I was like, oh no, it becomes 8 hours. Come on, I need some rest from special education. But really that helps because sometimes we are afraid of something and we don't really know about that. So I think maybe that helps me, prepare myself if I want to be a teacher. Or maybe if you can face like your colleagues or maybe your boss is also autistic, maybe. Yeah, so I think it's really a good way to prepare ourselves for the future challenges.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's a great movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's stop here.
Okay. Is it time's up?
Yeah.
Oh no! All right.
So let's say bye to Mark.
Bye bye, Mark, and also happy Teachers' Day.
Bye.
Bye bye.